The Galactic Council, once a symbol of unity and peace across the universe, had become wary of Earth's rising influence. Earth had joined the Council relatively late, but its technological advancements and human ingenuity rapidly shifted the balance of power. Despite Earth's commitment to peacekeeping missions and its elite soldiers who upheld the Council's ideals, certain factions felt threatened. These alien coalitions, longtime rivals to humanity's emerging prominence, hatched a plan to break Earth's power. A covert mission was set into motion. On a distant, volatile planet, where human soldiers were deployed to mediate a local conflict, the coalition made its move. During a routine patrol, a group of Earth's elite soldiers were ambushed. Overwhelmed by sheer numbers and unexpected alien tactics, they were captured and transported to a secret facility deep within enemy territory. The aliens sought to demoralize Earth by breaking its strongest warriors and extracting crucial military intelligence. The captured soldiers endured unimaginable horrors. They were tortured relentlessly, both physically and psychologically, but even in their darkest moments, the human spirit proved unyielding. Though they suffered, they refused to give in, embodying the strength and resilience Earth had become known for. As the coalition intensified its brutal methods, news of the soldiers' fate slowly leaked through the galactic underworld, eventually reaching Earth. The Galactic Council remained steadfast in their refusal to negotiate. They believed Earth's threats were empty, and that their coalition of alien allies could handle whatever retaliation humanity might attempt. This overconfidence would soon prove to be their downfall. Earth was not one to cower in the face of adversity, especially when the fate of their soldiers was at stake. As the days passed, the brutality inflicted upon the captured human soldiers only intensified. Each passing hour fueled Earth's desire for vengeance. The alien captors were unaware that their prisoners were not only enduring the torture, but also resisting in small but critical ways. Despite the unbearable pain, they had managed to transmit covert messages to their commanders back on Earth, detailing the location and layout of the facility where they were held. Back on Earth, the highest levels of government and military leadership worked tirelessly. The fate of their soldiers weighed heavily on their shoulders, but there was no hesitation in their hearts. They knew that to save their comrades, they would need to unleash the full might of their military force. However, Earth's response would not be one of blind rage. It would be calculated, precise, and devastating. Elite units were assembled, consisting of the best soldiers Earth had to offer. These warriors, trained in the harshest environments and equipped with state-of-the-art technology, embodied the pinnacle of human ingenuity and resolve. They were not only fighting for the captured soldiers, but also to send a message to the rest of the galaxy. Earth would not tolerate the mistreatment of its people. As the fleet prepared to depart, the atmosphere on Earth shifted. The citizens, outraged by the cruelty inflicted upon their soldiers, rallied behind their government and military. The entire planet stood united, ready to support the mission in any way they could. The sense of unity and determination permeated every corner of Earth, igniting a collective will to defend their honor and ensure justice was served. The mission, dubbed Operation Dawnstrike, would be carried out in 2 phases. The first phase would involve a rapid infiltration of the alien facility where the soldiers were being held. Earth's military would deploy their most advanced stealth ships to avoid detection and insert special forces deep into enemy territory. These soldiers, equipped with cutting-edge cloaking devices and adaptive armor, were tasked with extracting the prisoners and eliminating any resistance. The second phase would be more public and far more brutal. Once the soldiers were safely extracted, Earth's military would launch a full-scale assault on the alien coalition's homeworlds. This would not be a simple show of force. Earth intended to dismantle the coalition's military infrastructure and cripple their ability to wage war, ensuring they would never threaten humanity again. As Earth's warships left orbit, the skies above the planet glowed with the light of their engines. Families, friends, and fellow soldiers watched in solemn silence, knowing that the fate of their comrades and the honor of their planet rested on the success of this mission. The fleet consisted of a formidable array of ships, each equipped with advanced weaponry and defenses that far surpassed anything the alien coalition could muster. Among the fleet were Earth's newly developed Aegis-class dreadnoughts, massive warships bristling with plasma cannons and electromagnetic railguns. These behemoths were designed not only to withstand the rigors of deep space combat, but also to serve as mobile command centers, coordinating strikes with lethal precision. Supporting the dreadnoughts were smaller, more agile vessels like the Phantom-class frigates, known for their speed and stealth capabilities. In addition to conventional military forces, Earth's fleet also included a specialized division of AI-driven drones. These drones were programmed with advanced algorithms that allowed them to adapt to changing battlefield conditions in real time. They were capable of executing complex maneuvers, disrupting enemy communications, and neutralizing threats with surgical precision. As the fleet approached the alien facility, tension filled the air. The soldiers aboard the ships were calm and focused, their training allowing them to suppress any fear or hesitation. They knew the stakes were high, but they also knew they were the best hope for the captured soldiers. Every member of the team was prepared to lay down their life if necessary to complete the mission. The first phase of Operation Dawnstrike began in the dead of night. The Phantom-class frigates moved in silently, their cloaking devices rendering them nearly invisible to enemy sensors. Special Forces units, clad in adaptive armor that shifted colors to blend with their surroundings, infiltrated the facility with ease. The aliens guarding the prison had grown complacent, never expecting Earth to mount such a swift and stealthy assault. Inside the facility, the captured human soldiers were on the verge of collapse. Weeks of torture had taken a toll on their bodies and minds, but their spirits remained unbroken. When the Special Forces arrived, the prisoners were shocked to see their rescuers. Though they had never lost faith that Earth would come for them, they hadn't expected such a bold and rapid response. The extraction went smoothly. Within minutes, the prisoners were freed, and the Special Forces moved swiftly to neutralize any remaining threats. The alien captors, caught off guard by the sudden assault, were quickly overwhelmed. Some begged for mercy, but Earth's soldiers were not in a forgiving mood. This was not a diplomatic mission. It was a rescue, and anyone standing in the way would be eliminated without hesitation. As the Special Forces made their way back to the extraction point, the prisoners were filled with a renewed sense of hope. They had survived unimaginable horrors, but now they were going home. The soldiers didn't waste any time. They moved with precision and discipline, knowing that every second counted. Phase 1 of the mission was a resounding success. The prisoners were safely aboard the stealth ships, and the team was ready to extract without alerting the rest of the alien coalition. However, Earth's retaliation was far from over. Now came the second phase, the full-scale assault that would shake the foundations of the alien coalition's power. As Earth's fleet prepared to unleash its fury, the alien coalition remained blissfully unaware of the storm about to descend upon them. They still believed they had the upper hand, convinced that their superior numbers and alliances would protect them from any consequences. But Earth's response would prove them disastrously wrong. The galaxy was about to witness the full extent of humanity's wrath, a force so relentless and unyielding that it would leave an indelible mark on the history of the stars. Earth's soldiers had endured the darkest of trials, and now they would bring the light of justice to their enemies, with a fury that no alien race had ever seen before. The time for diplomacy had passed. Now, only the sword remained. The galaxy stood on the precipice of a storm. Earth's Operation Dawnstrike had concluded its first phase with absolute precision, but now came the time for Earth to truly make its presence felt. The rescue of the human soldiers had been swift and clean, a quiet victory. However, the next phase was anything but quiet. The entire Galactic Council, still unaware of what had occurred, would soon be introduced to the true power and resolve of humanity. As Earth's fleet prepared to engage in Phase 2, the soldiers who had returned from the rescue mission recounted the horrors they had witnessed. Stories of torture, deprivation, and humiliation of their comrades spread quickly through the ranks. Any remaining hesitation about the mission evaporated in an instant. Earth's forces were now driven by a personal vendetta, united by the singular goal of making the aliens pay for every moment of suffering they had inflicted. The fleet moved into position, surrounding the homeworlds of the alien coalition. Each homeworld had been carefully scouted, and Earth's military had identified critical targets: planetary defense systems, military installations, supply routes, and key government facilities. The objective was not to obliterate the planets, but to cripple their ability to continue the war. Earth's strategy was one of total decimation of their military capabilities. Earth's warships remained hidden, cloaked behind layers of advanced stealth technology. The alien coalition, still under the impression that their defenses were impenetrable, went about their daily routines, blissfully ignorant of the impending attack. But that ignorance would be shattered in mere moments. The operation began with a single, calculated strike. In a matter of seconds, Earth's stealth drones infiltrated the alien communication network. These drones, no bigger than a human fist, bypassed every firewall and security protocol, plunging the coalition's forces into chaos. Their communication grids went dark, severing the links between their fleets, defense systems, and command centers. Panic spread like wildfire across the alien ranks. Before the alien forces could react, Earth unleashed the second wave of its attack. Massive dreadnoughts emerged from the void, their weapons already locked onto their targets. The sky above the alien homeworlds lit up as the dreadnoughts rained destruction upon key military installations. Plasma cannons and railguns fired in perfect synchronization, tearing through alien defenses like paper. The first world to fall was Kyrix Prime, the industrial heart of the coalition. Its sprawling factories and shipyards, responsible for producing the majority of the coalition's warships, were Earth's primary target. Within minutes, the entire planet was engulfed in chaos. Explosions rocked the surface as Earth's bombers decimated every major factory and military installation. Without its shipyards, the coalition's ability to wage war would be crippled. The aliens had barely begun to understand what was happening when Earth struck again, this time targeting Kaveri, the homeworld of one of the coalition's founding species. Kaveri's population, known for their arrogance and belief in their own superiority, had always viewed humanity as little more than an upstart species. Now they were forced to confront the reality that Earth's military far outclassed their own. The skies above Kaveri were filled with Earth's warships, their massive forms casting shadows over the cities below. The coalition's planetary defenses scrambled to react, firing everything they had at the invaders. But Earth's ships were faster, more advanced, and better equipped. Within minutes, Kaveri's defense grid was reduced to rubble, its military installations leveled, and its leadership in full retreat. Earth's forces didn't stop there. One by one, the coalition's worlds fell under the relentless assault. Each world was targeted with precision strikes, disabling key infrastructure and leaving the coalition's forces disorganized and unable to retaliate. The alien coalition, which had once boasted of its superiority over Earth, was now on the brink of collapse. As the smoke cleared from the battlefield, Earth's fleet remained unscathed. The dreadnoughts hovered in orbit like silent sentinels, their weapons still hot from the destruction they had wrought. But despite the overwhelming victory, Earth's forces did not revel in the carnage. The soldiers remained focused on their mission: to ensure the safety of their people and bring the alien coalition to its knees. On board Earth's flagship, the Vanguard, Admiral Sado stood before his crew, his expression stoic. He knew that this victory, though necessary, was not something to be celebrated. War was a brutal and unforgiving endeavor, and the cost of such conflicts was always high. But he also knew that Earth had no choice. The alien coalition had forced their hand, and now they were paying the price for their hubris. Admiral Sado gave the order for the next phase, securing the alien leaders responsible for the atrocities committed against the human prisoners. Earth's intelligence had pinpointed the locations of the Coalition's top military commanders and political leaders, and now it was time to bring them to justice. Special operations teams were dispatched to capture or, if necessary, eliminate these individuals. On the surface of Carix Prime, Earth's special forces moved in with the same stealth and precision they had demonstrated during the rescue mission. The alien leaders, once so confident in their invincibility, were now hiding in fortified bunkers, desperate to avoid capture. But Earth's soldiers were relentless. One by one, the leaders of the alien coalition were captured or eliminated, their regimes toppled, and their armies left in disarray. The remaining leaders, witnessing the fall of their comrades, scrambled to negotiate a ceasefire. They sent desperate messages to Earth's fleet, offering terms of surrender. But Earth was not interested in negotiations. Admiral Seto made it clear that the coalition would face the consequences of their actions. There would be no mercy for those who had tortured and killed human soldiers. As Earth's forces tightened their grip on the alien coalition, news of the assault spread throughout the galaxy. The Galactic Council, which had once been so dismissive of humanity, now watched in horror as Earth dismantled one of the most powerful military alliances in the galaxy. The message was clear. Humanity was not to be trifled with. Back on Earth, the people watched the events unfold with a mixture of pride and sorrow. They had known the risks of sending their soldiers into battle, but the sight of the Coalition's worlds falling one after another stirred something deep within them. Earth was no longer the isolated planet on the fringes of the galaxy. It was now a force to be reckoned with. As the final strongholds of the alien coalition crumbled, Earth's fleet returned to orbit. The war was over. The alien coalition had been defeated, and humanity had emerged victorious. But the cost had been high. The captured soldiers, though rescued, carried the scars of their ordeal, both physical and emotional. And Earth's military, though victorious, had seen the horrors of war firsthand. Admiral Seto stood on the bridge of the Vanguard, looking out at the stars. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Earth would not be intimidated, and humanity would always protect its own. But as the Admiral watched the stars twinkle in the distance, he couldn't help but wonder what the future held. The galaxy had changed, and Earth's place in it was now forever altered. Would humanity's victory lead to peace, or had they simply opened the door to more conflict? For now, the galaxy was quiet. But Admiral Seto knew that silence would not last forever. Humanity had proven its strength, but with that strength came new challenges, new enemies, and new alliances. The galaxy had been shaken to its core, and Earth stood at the center of it all, ready for whatever came next. The alien coalition lay in ruins. The devastation Earth had wrought was not just military but psychological. Entire star systems, once proud and bustling centers of trade and culture, now stood in fear of humanity's wrath. The coalition's leadership, scattered and decimated, had underestimated Earth in the most fatal way. The once boasting voices of the alien empires were now reduced to hushed whispers as they tried to come to terms with the sheer power and precision of Earth's military forces. But the reckoning was not over. In the days following the annihilation of the alien military infrastructure, a somber calm fell over Earth's forces. The soldiers had completed their mission, but they knew the galaxy was watching. They could feel the weight of their actions pressing upon them, for they had shattered more than just a fleet. They had shifted the balance of galactic power. The responsibility was immense, and the consequences, both political and cultural, were beginning to reveal themselves. Earth had become something more than a planetary civilization. It had risen to become an interstellar power, feared and respected in equal measure. On the bridge of the flagship Vanguard, Admiral Seto received the latest intel reports. In the aftermath of Earth's assault, a group of surviving coalition leaders had fled to the galactic frontier. There they had gathered their most loyal forces, desperately clinging to whatever power they could still muster. Though their coalition was in tatters, they refused to accept defeat. These remnants posed a danger, both to Earth and to the fragile peace that had begun to settle across the galaxy. Admiral Seto stood before the holographic map of the galaxy, staring at the distant systems where the remnants of the coalition were now hiding. "They won't stop," he muttered under his breath. "They'll regroup, they'll rearm, and they'll strike again. They can't bear the humiliation." His second-in-command, Commander Alana Reyes, stepped forward. "We could hunt them down, sir. Finish what we started. But the Galactic Council might see it as a violation of their space. We'd risk igniting a new conflict with factions we've yet to encounter." Seto nodded. "I know. The Council has been silent since our victory. No messages, no demands, nothing. They're watching us, Alana. Every move we make from here on will be scrutinized." The Galactic Council, which presided over much of the known universe, had kept its distance from the war between Earth and the Coalition. They had assumed Earth's defeat was inevitable, but now, with humanity standing as the victor, the Council was forced to reconsider its stance. Would Earth be welcomed into the fold as a full-fledged galactic power, or would they be seen as a rogue state, a threat that needed to be contained? The Galactic Council convened in secret sessions, debating how to handle Earth's sudden rise. Their grand chambers, once filled with confident discussions of galactic affairs, now echoed with uncertainty. Councillor Zirath of the Krenar Republic, a towering figure covered in shimmering scales, voiced the growing fear among his peers. "This species, they are more dangerous than we could have ever anticipated," Zirath hissed. "Their technology has advanced faster than any civilization in recorded history. They lack the refinement, the restraint, that comes with age. We cannot allow them to act with impunity." Across the chamber, a more measured voice countered. It belonged to Councillor Nera, a soft-spoken representative from the Zinthar Commonwealth. "Dangerous, yes, but also remarkable. Humanity has shown ingenuity, resourcefulness, and an unparalleled will to survive. Perhaps we should seek to understand them, rather than treat them as a threat." The debate raged on, with some calling for sanctions, others for immediate military intervention, and a few suggesting that Earth should be offered a seat at the Council. No consensus could be reached, but one thing was clear: humanity had shaken the foundations of galactic politics. Meanwhile, Earth's leadership faced its own internal struggles. The victory had united Earth's people in a wave of pride, but the cost of war had been high. Families mourned the loss of soldiers who had not made it back. Survivors of the alien prison camps were scared by their experiences, physically and emotionally. The human government, led by President Amir Hassan, knew that the galaxy's eyes were upon them, waiting for Earth's next move. President Hassan addressed the people of Earth in a solemn broadcast. His face, usually calm and composed, now bore the weight of recent events. "Our victory over the Coalition was not one we sought, but one we had to achieve. The atrocities committed against our people demanded a response. But now we face a new challenge. The galaxy will not forgive us for showing strength. They will fear us, and fear, unchecked, can lead to conflict." He paused, letting his words sink in. "But we are not conquerors. We are not destroyers. We are protectors of our people, of our planet, and of the ideals that make us human. We will defend ourselves, but we will not seek war. To the Galactic Council, I say this: we desire peace, but if you test us, we will not falter." On the frontier, the remnants of the Coalition gathered. Their forces were broken, their fleets decimated, but their hatred for humanity burned brighter than ever. In a hidden base deep within an asteroid field, the surviving Coalition leaders convened. They were a ragtag group now, hollowed, desperate, and fueled by revenge. General Tuvok, a reptilian warlord from the Vash Empire, slammed his clawed fist onto the table. "We cannot allow this insult to stand. Earth has humiliated us. Our people cry out for retribution." His fellow leaders, though wounded and weary, nodded in agreement. The war had cost them dearly, but their pride, their very sense of superiority, had been shattered. And for them, This was a wound that could only be healed with Earth's destruction. "We have one option," hissed High Counselor Shurik, a pale and gaunt figure from the Kavari homeworld. "The weapon. The one we vowed never to use." Tuvok's eyes gleamed with malevolent intent. "Yes, the weapon. But it is dangerous. Unpredictable." "Unpredictable or not, it is our last chance," Shurik replied. "If we use it, Earth will fall. The galaxy will see that we are not defeated." The Coalition had kept a secret weapon, a relic from an ancient war that had nearly wiped out entire star systems. It was a weapon of mass destruction, capable of obliterating planets in an instant. But it was unstable, and its use had been forbidden for millennia. Desperate times, however, called for desperate measures. As the Coalition leaders finalized their plan, they knew that the weapon could very well destroy them all. But in their eyes, it was a price worth paying. Earth's victory had to be overturned, no matter the cost. Back on Earth, the warnings came too late. As the fleet continued to patrol the outer systems, monitoring for any signs of retaliation, they detected a massive energy surge from the far reaches of the galaxy. Admiral Seto was the first to receive the report. The weapon had been activated. He knew immediately what it meant. The Coalition had decided to take their vengeance to the ultimate level. "Their desperation is going to get them killed," Seto muttered, eyes narrowing as the scale of the threat became clear. "And us, along with them." As Earth's fleet raced to intercept, the clock was ticking. The weapon, once fired, would be unstoppable. If it reached Earth, there would be no second chance. Earth, and everything humanity had fought for, would be gone. The final battle had begun, not for victory, but for survival. The galaxy's fate now hung in the balance as Earth's fleet mobilized for what would be the most critical engagement of the conflict. The Coalition's desperate measure, a weapon of unimaginable destructive power, threatened not only Earth but the entire known universe. As the weapon's activation signal reached Earth's command, the urgency to counter the impending disaster became paramount. In the command center of the Vanguard, Admiral Seto and his staff worked furiously to assemble a plan. The energy readings indicated that the weapon was not only enormous, but also on a trajectory that would intersect with Earth's orbit within a matter of days. Every second counted. "Deploy the long-range interceptors," Seto ordered. "We need to calculate the precise trajectory and launch a countermeasure before it's too late." Commander Reyes and her team of analysts scrambled over holographic displays, trying to pinpoint the weapon's exact path. The complexity of the task was daunting. The weapon's energy signature was fluctuating unpredictably, making it nearly impossible to calculate its course with precision. "We're dealing with a destabilizing artifact," Reyes explained, her voice tinged with frustration. "It's not just a projectile. It's a relic with ancient and volatile technology. We might need to adapt our interceptors to its erratic patterns." As the team worked, Seto's thoughts drifted to the potential implications of the weapon's impact. If the Coalition succeeded in their plan, Earth would be obliterated, and the galaxy would be plunged into chaos. The very existence of human civilization was at stake. Meanwhile, on the Coalition's hidden base, the leaders were consumed with their preparations. The weapon, a massive spiked construct known as the Oblivion Engine, was being primed for launch. The ancient technology, buried deep within the weapon's core, was known to induce catastrophic gravitational disturbances and unleash energy waves capable of tearing apart entire planets. General Tuvok, now visibly anxious, paced back and forth in the command chamber. "The weapon is nearly ready. Our scientists report that the energy levels are stabilizing. It's time." High Counselor Shurik, who had been overseeing the final adjustments, looked equally apprehensive. "The weapon's power is immense. We must be cautious. If it detonates prematurely, it could annihilate us as well." Tuvok snorted. "If we hesitate, we risk losing everything. Earth must pay the price for their audacity." As the weapon's launch sequence began, the Coalition leaders braced themselves. They knew their decision could mean their own destruction, but the burning need for vengeance overpowered their fears. Back on Earth, the response was swift. The long-range interceptors were launched, each equipped with advanced targeting systems designed to handle the weapon's unpredictable energy emissions. The fleet assembled for a defensive posture, ready to engage the weapon if it came within range. The tension was palpable among the crews as they prepared for the confrontation. In the vastness of space, the Earth forces spread out, forming a defensive net to intercept the weapon. The stars above seemed to dim as the imminent threat loomed closer. Admiral Sato, standing at the bridge of the Vanguard, watched as the interceptors moved into position. "We have one chance to stop this," he said. "Everyone, focus on your tasks. The survival of Earth depends on it." The weapon's energy signature continued to fluctuate, making it difficult to gauge its exact location. The interceptors, equipped with advanced sensors, adjusted their trajectories in real time to compensate for the weapon's erratic course. It was a tense, high-stakes dance of technology and calculation. As the weapon neared its final approach, Earth's forces remained on high alert. The interceptors engaged their countermeasures, firing precision-guided missiles designed to neutralize the weapon's energy fields. Each moment was critical, as the weapon's core grew increasingly unstable. Admiral Sato's eyes were fixed on the main screen, where the trajectory of the weapon was plotted in real time. "Incoming interceptors, prepare for engagement," he commanded. The interceptors streaked across the void, closing in on the weapon. The Coalition's forces, monitoring the approach, attempted to defend their creation. Defensive energy shields flared as the interceptors drew near, but the humans had prepared for this. The interceptors' advanced targeting systems were designed to pierce through such defenses. A tense silence enveloped the bridge as the interceptors reached the weapon. Energy pulses erupted in space as they made contact, attempting to neutralize the destructive power of the Oblivion engine. The weapon's trajectory shifted erratically, and a massive energy feedback pulse rippled through space. On the Coalition base, chaos erupted as the weapon's core experienced severe instability. The Coalition leaders scrambled to mitigate the damage, but the force of the energy feedback was overwhelming. The Oblivion engine, destabilized by the interceptor's attack, began to malfunction catastrophically. General Tuvok's eyes widened in horror as the weapon's core, once a beacon of their vengeful hope, now threatened to turn against them. "The energy levels are off the charts," he shouted. "It's going to detonate." High Counselor Shurek, panic-stricken, tried to shut down the launch sequence, but it was too late. The Oblivion engine's destabilization was irreversible. The Coalition base's alarms blared as the catastrophic failure began. As the Oblivion engine's energy reached critical levels, the Coalition's base was engulfed in a blinding explosion. The weapon's power, once intended to annihilate Earth, now turned inwards, obliterating the Coalition's last bastion of resistance. The base was consumed by the blast, and the weapon's energy waves dissipated into the void. For a moment, the galaxy was silent. The threat had been neutralized, but the cost was immense. Earth's fleet, though victorious, had endured a grueling battle against an enemy that had pushed them to their limits. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Earth's leaders assessed the situation. The destruction of the Coalition base marked the end of the immediate threat, but the implications of the conflict were far from over. The galaxy's political landscape had been irrevocably altered. Admiral Sato addressed his crew with a mix of relief and solemnity. "We have prevailed, but the price of victory is high. Our actions have reshaped the galaxy, and we must now navigate the consequences. Our mission has been to protect Earth and ensure its future, and we have succeeded." President Hassan, in a subsequent address to Earth, emphasized the need for peace and diplomacy. "The conflict has ended, but our journey is far from over. We have shown that humanity can stand against great odds, but we must also strive to build a future where such conflicts are not repeated. The galaxy has witnessed our strength, but let it also witness our commitment to peace." As the remnants of the Coalition were cleaned up, and order slowly returned to the galaxy. Humanity's role in the cosmos had fundamentally changed. Earth stood as a powerful force, not just a distant planet, but a significant player in galactic affairs. The victory had come at a steep price, but it had also forged a new path for humanity. With the threat of the coalition extinguished, Earth now faced the challenge of shaping its future in a galaxy that had been both tested and transformed by its presence. The road ahead was uncertain, but humanity had proven itself resilient, capable of navigating the complex and often perilous landscape of interstellar politics. The story of Earth's triumph and its new role in the galaxy had only just begun. The stars awaited, and humanity's journey among them was far from over.